I have some new tour dates to tell you about. I will be in Long Beach, California, July 10th. Los Angeles, California, July 11th. Bethel, New York, July 31. Albany, New York on August 1. Get your tickets early with code RATKING starting Tuesday, June 25th at 10 a.m. local time. General on sale starts Wednesday, June 26th at 10 a.m. local time. As well, we have shows in Salt Lake City, June 30th, Las Vegas, July 5th and 6th, and Bangor, Maine, August 9th. As well as every other city that's on the tours, everything is still all good to go. You can get tickets at theovon.com/TOUR. And thank you guys so much for the support. Today's guest is one of the biggest musicians in the world. He's won all the awards. He's set attendance records everywhere. He's celebrating the 10th anniversary of his album Multiply. We get to catch up right here in London in his bar, Birdie Blossoms. And I'm grateful for his time. Today's guest is Mr. Ed Sheeran.
Who's been your least favorite guest?
Least favorite? Oh, this guy. He was like a money guy. Oh, Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, yeah. Jordan Belfort.
Jordan Belfort, yeah. I just didn't like his inner, like, I don't know. He seemed like a con artist. And he wouldn't kind of say yes. It was like...
You watched the movie though, right?
Yeah. He seemed like a cool con artist. Like certainly one of the better... You're right, that's a good point. I guess he's kind of like Jesse James, maybe in a way, like one of those wild guys.
Yeah. So what are you doing in London other than shows?
That's it, man. Yeah, just came over to you guys' country to do shows, man.
I love that you flew from Manchester.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, because there's a train from central Manchester into central London. So you would have driven out of central Manchester, flown to out of central London, and then gone. It's such a long trip. Could have just taken an hour and a half train.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I didn't even know that.
I know. Life hacks.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I didn't. Damn. Well, I probably would have been faster.
Way faster. Yeah. Wow. Way faster. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm genuinely feeling bad about that right now.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Planet's in crisis.
Is it?
More flights.
Yeah. That's true. We'll do it that way. Good to see you today, Ed.
Nice to be here.
Nice to see you, man.
Thanks for coming here as well. Thanks for making the effort to come here.
You're welcome. This is Birdie Bottoms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bertie Bottoms.
Birdie Bottoms. And how do you know if the bottoms are Bertie or not?
So it's Blossoms. It's basically.
Oh, sorry. I'm very sorry.
My manager's wife is called Liberty. My wife is called Cherry, and me and my manager set this bar up. And Blossom for Cherry, Bertie for Liberty, Bertie Blossoms.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, gives us an excuse to come drink here.
Oh yeah, I bet. Dude, but sometimes like. So is this a place where people can meet their wife at? Is that the kind of thing that we're...
Yeah, or, husband.
Husband, yeah. But do you have like a wife-husband meeting night, like a night where it's like, hey, this is like Tuesdays, it's like all you can spouse or whatever.
They come in and they chuck the keys in and then it's just a massive orgy.
Well,
huge.
That went a little far, but I was just thinking like, yeah, do they at least just get to meet somebody,
Do you know what? I when I come here, I come in this back room and that's kind of it. Yeah, I don't really know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, you never know.
Just kind of relax, yeah.
This is where like if I'm having like a dinner or a meeting with someone, it will usually be back here. You can sort of like drink what you want, smoke, stay as long as you want. It's cool.
At Birdie Blossoms, yeah.
At Birdie Blossoms, yeah.
Yeah, sorry I got it wrong, man.
That's all right.
It's been some of the exchange rate on the language has been tough.
Yeah. I liked that when I arrived, you kept calling me like, cheers, mate, nice, mate. I liked it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I've been trying to get with it, man. I
lived in Nashville for a couple of years and I got the drool, I think.
Yeah?
Being there, yeah. I owned a cowboy hat.
Oh, wow.
I had a camouflage hoodie as well.
see. Yeah, you really. Did you guys hunt anything?
Do you know, I lived on a lake for the first year and I bought a fishing rod from Walmart because I was like, I'm going to go fishing. I'd never been fishing before. And I threw it in. And then after about an hour, my mate came up and was like, have you put bait on it? And I was like, I didn't know you meant to do that. So I just sat with a fishing rod
really?
in the lake, yeah.
Oh, like pantomime fishing.
I just assumed a fish would like swim past and catch the hook. I don't know. I'd never fished before, you know. It wasn't something that I'd grown up doing.
But you gotta have that. You gotta put something on there.
I know that now.
Yeah.
I know that now.
Wow, I've never heard of anybody doing that.
Would you?
Maybe a child or something, or a blind fella.
Well, I feel like in some ways I am quite. I feel like your age freezes the age that you become famous. I think so. I think in some ways I am still a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I think it's like, and I think some creative people just they kind of grow up slow, I feel like, in a way.
Well, you sort of don't have the same, I don't know, brutal life lessons, I guess. When I was like, I moved to London when I was like 17 and I was having regular brutal life lessons of just like, no, this is what the real world is. And then I think when I started doing well about 20, about 19, 20. And then you sort of like, if you make a mistake, it's kind of all right. You know, you don't have like the brutal real life lesson, I guess.
What do you mean, like when you have like a success and stuff going on? Is that what you mean, kind of? Or?
Well, yeah, I mean, you will know this with comedy, like a brutal life lesson of like, it's not going to be easy is bombing or playing to an empty room or blah, 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 blah. That kind of stops happening when you have success. There's definitely, you have peaks and troughs in your career where people are more interested or less interested, but you don't have the like, I don't know. I don't think you have as many normal life lessons. You still get quite abnormal life lessons, I think, because in the sort of celebrity sphere, it can be quite abnormal, but you don't have the like, I don't know, regular stuff.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does, dude. I am the worst person to ask if something makes sense or not, to be honest with you. Yeah, every time people ask.
My mates are so excited that I'm doing this today, by the way.
Who is?
All of my friends.
Oh, really?
My friends. Yeah, the guy that, there's a guy living at our house at the moment, and he was like trying to get off work to just come down and just say hi.
Oh, and just mill around? Like a loitering, they call it.
Yeah.
I think you guys, loitering must be a British thing, huh? Because we wouldn't say that, loitering.
What would you say?
We'd
Stalking?
be like, oh yeah, stalking.
Yeah.
Well, stalking is more like once you've loitered and you see something in the window, you know. You see something, you see a bit of tits in the distance or something. But yeah, that's stalking. Yeah. And then it's breaking and entering, you know. And then it's marriage usually. If you have a way with words, I think. But yeah, I think.
Are you married?
Loitering sounds very British. No, I'm not married. I would like to be, kind of.
I guess you have to loiter more for that to happen. Right?
Yeah, I need a bit more loitering. Yeah. I need to bring the binoculars, you know? Maybe bring a Red Bull. That's the loiterer you got to really be aware of.
The Red Bull loiterer. Yeah. It's just standing there with a Red Bull. Small sips. Yeah.
Small sips.
Fucking hell. I haven't had Red Bull in years, man.
Oh, probably good for you.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, there was a time when I was doing like loads and loads of like breakfast TVs and radios and stuff like that. It used to be those massive monster drinks.
When you were touring, like to get your singles out there and stuff like that?
You used to kind of like have to turn up at like 3:30 a.m. to a German weather program to play 30 seconds of your new single. Yeah. So like those stages, yeah.
Chance of rain, but chance of Ed Sheeran first.
I remember so clearly playing. I got up at like... They were doing it in some like theme park in the middle of Germany, and it was just obviously empty because it was like 4 a.m.
Yeah, they love their theme parks.
And I start playing on this weather program, and then I can see the credits rolling underneath me like 10 seconds in, and I'm like, am I the fucking play out music? Yeah. And then they just stopped it. So I played 10 seconds of my new single, basically.
Oh,
yeah.
God,
Germany was a tough market for me for a while, and then and then the egg was cracked, and now we're good.
You think they'd take a look at you and be like, "Oh, he could be one of us," you know? I feel like you look like a closet German. Is that fair to say to somebody? I don't even know. I'm just loitering.
No, I think. Well, the red hair is more Celtic, so I'd say either Scottish or Irish, or like the Norwegians. I think would look at me and be like, you want it. There's some Viking. You got a bit of Viking in you.
We'll take them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have a little bit. Like you'll see me in like the frozen food area, kind of like in the store, you know?
Yeah.
I'll mill about in there, you know? Kind
Loiter.
of like, you know?
What's your background heritage? Have you got European?
I'm
Indian?
Polish, yeah, Nicaraguan.
Right,
yeah.
cool.
My dad was from Nicaragua. His parents met down there, and he was born there. And then my mother, I don't know, dude, but wherever she's from, they have some real one-of-a-kind type ladies.
Do you have rage in you? Are you an angry guy? You seem a very chill guy. Can you have an argument with someone?
Yeah, I don't know if I have an argument. I like have kind of trouble processing my feelings, so I'm like that. I'm always like the start and stop with, you know, I'm like the guy who like can't get like the gear shift to work or something. You're watching that guy drive. You know, I'm like a student driver.
Yeah.
When it comes to my feelings. Do they have student drivers here?
Yeah. I didn't learn to drive until I was 24. Because like, as I said, with the train thing, public transport here is actually really good. So I never learned to drive. And then, mate, on my first driving test, so I learned to drive for like eight months. And on the first test, I failed because I was going around a roundabout and my mum called me to see if I passed the test. And I just quickly took it and like cancelled the call. And then the driving instructor was just like, you've just failed the test for that. And she was ringing to see if I'd
done well.
Passed, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I failed.
God, dude, that's when you got to just, that's kind of the time I'm glad my mom didn't care that much.
Yeah.
You know, because I passed
But but Americans can drive from like 16, right?
But they shouldn't all be allowed to drive. And
do you think American drivers, man, like when I'm over there, I'm like, this is fucking sketchy.
They drive to kill.
Yeah.
They drive to
I
kill.
sort of feel like here we have to learn how to like parallel park and do all these other things. I think in America it's like, can you reverse? Good.
Yeah.
Passed.
Yeah, well, I think America, just anything can be a weapon there. You know, it's like.
So what have you got hidden under your bed? What's your weapon? Weapon of choice.
I've probably a couple knives. A lot of my kitchen knives are in my room.
Cool.
Kind of strategically placed or whatever. You know, like, I'll be here. I need a knife.
And you haven't got kids? So
no,
they're
kids.
not like reaching under the bed and finding a huge.
No. And I go small blade kind of. You know, I'm more of a,
I think I'd be more terrified of you with a kitchen blade than a gun.
I'm more of a chef than like a hatchet guy. You know, I'm more like I'll julienne a burglar.
But have you got a meat cleaver in the bedroom? That would be terrifying. Seeing you running down a corridor fully naked with a meat cleaver.
Yeah, dude. Especially, if somebody thinks if somebody orders a small sausage, dude, because I'll friggin' cut one up right there, dude. It'll be out of business in a moment.
If you had a home invasion and you had a meat cleaver in that would be far more terrifying than.
Oh, I would yell, I have a meat cleaver. That's the first thing I would yell at them.
God.
I think that would be something else. Dude, what was something I was going to tell you? Oh, what was I thinking? Yeah, dude, I don't know a ton. I know some British music. We've had a nice time over here. We went to Ireland.
Not Britain, though.
And that's not Britain.
No. And if you make that mistake in Ireland, they will boo you.
They don't, if you say
it's good to be back in the UK, you will get booed there.
But if you say, fuck England, they will cheer.
Yeah,
I will.
Actually, if you say that in Wales, Scotland, and Ireland.
They'll cheer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially now, like Scotland now in the Euros. So I played the Euros launch, whatever, on Wednesday. I was in Germany, and it's
the Euros launch. What is the football game?
Footballs, yeah.
Okay, soccer.
Footballs. Right. And I made the decision to wear an England shirt on stage in Germany, and it was mostly German and Scottish fans because that's the first game. Didn't go down hugely well.
Yeah,
But then I was like, I'm not going to wear a German shirt on.
Right, because that's posing.
Yeah.
It's imposter.
I got given like 5 German shirts before the show as well to like take pictures with and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm just not going to wear these.
Yeah. Yeah, people get so competitive about that kind of stuff, man.
Who's your football team? Like, who are you supporting in the Euros? You've got to like subscribe to some of it because it's
probably Scotland, probably.
Yeah. They're playing today, playing Germany today.
Of course they are.
If they beat Germany,
yep.
That's a big party in Scotland.
Oh, they don't have a chance, I don't think. But
no, you would be surprised.
You think so?
Yeah, anything can happen.
I hope that they win today.
We lost to Iceland the other day.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And they don't even have green grass, do they? That's fucking unbelievable, dude. I mean, that's a bit of a sad thing.
I like it though. I like the unpredictableness of football. I find like American sport. I find really. I love watching American sport, but there's no penalty for being bad. You just get given more money in first draft. So you have your teams, and then if someone's bad, they go to the bottom, they get first draft, they can get better again. Here, if you're bad, you're out of the league. You're just out. And you go into a league that's not on television, and you have to like fight to get back up into the league that's on television. And if you're bad in that league, you go to a lower league. My football team, like for the past 6 years, have not been on television at all. We were in the 3rd division 2 years ago, and we've just finally got back up to the Premier League. But it's more exciting. It's unpredictable. Whereas like I'm a big Tennessee Titans fan, and they're kind of always here.
Yeah.
You know,
they're pretty mid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? Even in the game itself, I didn't realize that till you just said that. It's more unpredictable in the game. It's like with soccer, like you can get the ball back in a moment.
Yeah.
So you could suddenly be an offense. But in the NFL, it's like,
it's very tactical in NFL.
Yeah, you know it's going to be a little while before you get the ball back, you know, and then there's going to be
some... And if you drop your guard in soccer for 5 minutes, your team can be... Like, there was one World Cup that was in Brazil, and Brazil were arguably the best team at that time. And Germany ended up beating them 7-1 just because there was like 20 minutes of them letting their guard down.
Yeah, that was insane, bro. I remember that. I was in Vegas, actually, when I was watching it. That's where I met you at in Vegas.
Yeah. Man, that was a crazy night. Fucking
Dude,
hell.
what was that? Because like the Chainsmokers were just supposed to be performing, right?
I was doing my final tour show. So we basically were meant to play the Allegiant Stadium in August, and we'd set up our whole stage. I have an in the round stage, and we have these massive pylons that basically hang up all the speakers and screens and stuff like that. And it's weighted. So everything has to be exactly the same weight. And in a regular stadium, it's a concrete floor. You put them in, they stay there. We didn't realize that Allegiant Stadium didn't have a concrete floor. I don't know where that misalignment happened. But anyways, we put it in. It has a rubber floor, and the stage was slowly slipping. And these are like, you know, tons and tons and tons and tons of steel would have fallen on people. So we had to cancel the gig 20 minutes before it started. And Vegas isn't a place where like people... Like 80,000 people that live in Vegas are going to go. People had flown in, they got hotels, and it was so hot. It was like one of the worst days on tour. It was grim. So we rescheduled the Allegiant Stadium gig for then. So that was my final show of the tour. And yeah, we got pretty fucking lit up afterwards. And that's where I saw you. I know the Chainsmokers, so I sort of turned up, and then
they're great.
Kind of turned into karaoke.
Yeah, because
I was sort of thinking if you'd spent money on like a VIP table that night to see the Chainsmokers, and then suddenly just there's drunk me on stage in a Avengers mask.
Yeah, well, it was good. It was like, and here's the thing, man. People knew it was you. Okay.
Yeah.
I think at first people.
I was very aware that, like, I was just wearing the mask because they were wearing it.
Okay.
It was Halloween. Remember?
It was Halloween. Yeah. Let's say that to give you.
So do you know those guys?
Yeah, I just know them from like seeing them at different shows and being around them and stuff like that. But their energy is always fun and good, you know, and like, I just love getting to spend time with them. Their shows are always fun. Like I go to their shows. Sometimes I'll go to Diplo. Would I go to Fred again recently? I like going to see what some of the DJs are like, you know. But then you got up and it seemed like you were going to maybe do one song, and I was like, how are they going to are they going to go to like a little bit more ballady? What are they going to do? And then by like 4 songs later, it's just it's your show, man. That was it, dude. 4 songs later, and it's it's an Ed Sheeran. People are just kissing, and there's doves and stuff. Suddenly, where did we get a bunch of fucking doves? You know, it was very interesting. I felt like people were making wishes and stuff and hugging their grandmothers.
Are you going to go to any of the World Cup games in 26 in America?
I probably will. And that's soccer, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll probably get over to some of them. Our soccer's been pretty bad, man. Our country's going through a lot, I'll be honest with you. It's one of the reasons why I'm over here.
But have you not noticed ours is too? Like, I feel like English people and Americans, they're like, oh, do you know what? The other place is better. And then you go to the other place and you're like, oh, it's kind of... I feel like the world is going through quite a lot. Like we travel a lot, and it's like election time all around the world, and everywhere I go, I'm like, oh, it's kind of the same here as well. I feel like everyone is going through a shift of
that's a good point, huh?
Sorts.
You guys' elections are happening right now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty bonkers, some of the shit that's coming out. Like, it's like, you're sort of watching these interviews being like, does your like brain connect to your mouth? It's like, I sometimes feel like people don't want to get elected.
Yeah.
Like they're saying stuff to just be like, "Now I'm done, man. I'm done." It's mad.
Well, I'm sure there's probably times you get halfway into something, you're like, I don't know about this, you know?
Yeah.
Like people get stage fright at the altar all the time sometimes, or sometimes you'll buy something at the market and you'll put it back on the with the gums or the candies or something. You'll put just a pack of like sausages back there or something. And so I think that there's
if there's knocking, there's someone doing work next door, by the way.
as long as it's not an indentured servant, I think we're good. You know what I'm saying? Just because Britain's had their history, but and I'm not saying America didn't polish it up a little, but we've all sinned a little, or we didn't, but forefathers definitely, had some crazy plans, but yeah, dude, but it's nice to be over here. I like I listen to James Blake. I like his music a lot, you know. So I'll listen to some James Blake and I'll listen to Fred again. What other I'm trying to think of British music do I listen to? Nice Day for a White Wedding.
Oh, cool, yeah.
That guy, you know him?
No, no, I don't. I mean, I know the song. I don't know him personally.
Start again.
Who's your
every little sister? Maybe that's not the lyric. That seems a little bit perverse.
Who's your NFL team then?
Oh, sorry, I'm a New Orleans Saints fan.
Cool. Are you from New Orleans then?
Yeah, that's where I'm from, out of Louisiana.
So why move to Nashville?
Well, I lived in LA for a while, and then Nashville was open during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So you could do what you want. You could spit. You could spit on people, and they were still okay with it. So it definitely
It's a good criteria to move to a town. Just be like, can I spit on people?
Yeah. Or you could you could just I mean, you couldn't even. Yeah, it just that mask. When you think about what the mask, it just you could. I will say this though, you could look at somebody and kind of lick your lips in a way that you wouldn't normally be able to, and that's something I miss. Just being point blank.
I like the fact I can move. I really love public transport, and I can move around easier now since COVID because wearing a ski mask is not seen as creepy.
Yeah,
you're just sort of in a ski mask.
Oh, that's a good point. You're just still in one.
Yeah.
Every now and then, if I go in the airport now, and I'll just wear one of those long neck ones,
Yeah.
And I definitely feel like, people are like, who's the weirdo still with the neck and the glasses and the hat? And I'll even put a wig on sometimes, and who the hell is this lady?
Wig's a good idea.
Yeah, trying to get laid or whatever.
Sometimes dressing up as Santa Claus when I went to the supermarket at Christmas because I was like, I really need to go and get Christmas supplies. But the supermarket's obviously really busy at Christmas, and I'm not I don't blend in that well. And I was like, if I dressed up as Santa Claus, maybe that'd be fine. Just walk in, get your Christmas supplies. Everyone's like, Santa's here,
Did I see it? There's no way I saw Ed Sheeran as Santa Claus buying bagels. Did you see that fighter that looked like you the other day? It was on a UFC fight or something.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, I mean,
I thought it was your brother.
He is a lookalike.
He is.
Did you not see the thing where there was the Floyd Mayweather, the KSI Logan Paul fight, and I was ringside, but it was this lookalike, and some YouTubers had done a thing where they were like, let's try and fool them, and they got this lookalike, and Eddie Hearn essentially just gave my lookalike ringside tickets, and the only way that he was found out was Justin Bieber turned up and was like, that's not it.
Wow.
And yeah. But yeah, I did see it. Did you see the Eddie Hall one?
No, I didn't see it. What is it? Can we watch it?
Can we get the Eddie Hall one up?
Because look, the other night I was going through, it was on TikTok or something. The other night.
So this is the same
it
fight.
Pulls up,
Just go on the shorter one, like the reel. Down. Oh, sorry, the shorts. Just down. There. Yeah, one of them. Just 2 on 1.
Oh my gosh, huh? And are those the Island Boys?
Oh, what, Jedward?
Who's he beating? Oh, they're who?
And here we go on the replay.
Oh, that guy's Irish for sure, the one he tossed. It's like, wow. Oh my God, huh? Just take a sleeping pill.
So that was the same night, I think, that my lookalike was doing the fight.
Ooh, well, this is what it's coming to. That's good, boys. We get it.
I don't think...
This is what it's coming to. No, Ed, I'm just going to let you know. This is the kind of thing that it's coming to. People are going to... You're going to have freckled stepmother versus gambling addict Vietnamese or something. We're all going to be bet. It's just constant betting. I think you can feel it coming up in the world. It's like...
Would you do one of them?
Against a male or female, you think?
Against Caleb.
Oh, against Caleb Presley?
Yeah.
Oh man, you and him both have the mischievous look in your eyes all the same time. So that's how you guys could be related.
I had a good night with Caleb.
Did you? I was just with him in Lisbon yesterday.
Yeah, he's fun.
My friend got married, and
Sick.
we went to Lisbon. I went over there to see him. Caleb came to a show in Dublin, and then we went over there. It was really cool. Lisbon's amazing.
Lisbon is amazing.
Lisbon's amazing. Oh, Caleb's great though, dude. He's very smart, mischievous. He likes to like.
Who do you think wins?
Between me and Caleb?
Yeah,
That's
cage.
a great question.
You and him both get in a cage. You put on those little gloves.
But how little the gloves? Here's what I think you should do. Gloves that are way too small. Not just gloves that are like weighted gloves, but like extra small.
Yeah.
And then your hands are like this, you know? And then you have to fight. Like, oh,
sounds
dang. I can't,
Did you ever fight at school? Did you do wrestling and stuff?
I've gotten beat. I got beaten a decent amount as a lad, I remember. I remember at our school, if you got in a fight during school, this is what they made you do. You had to stand in the hall, whoever you fought, and you had to put your hands on each other's shoulders for the rest of the day and just be there and looking at each other and talking. So by the end of the day, you were friends with whoever you fought, you know? And all the kids would come down the hall between class and call you a wanker or whatever, you know, or, you know,
That sounds actually quite a good way to solve problems.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Because by the end of the day, you had to make each other laugh or figure out what went on.
And you realize that, like, yeah, you're probably similar.
Yeah. Well, you certainly didn't
Didn't hate each other by the end of the day.
Yeah, and if you thought the guy was a bully, you got to kind of figure it out with him,
and you work out why he was being a bully or lashing out.
Right.
Yeah.
What was going on? I thought it was just kind of an interesting program, man. Yeah, I don't have a wife, but I'm probably going to get one of these days. And so, do you think it's hard because you're like like a lot of your songs have like a lot of love in them, you know? And so, is it hard to still be like, does your wife ever feel like, oh, you write all the good songs for the whole world?
No, I think, you know, we went to high school together, so we've known each other 22 years now, and all of our mates are the same friends. So we have like a little Suffolk cohort, and she's very comfortable with she's known me through everything.
Yeah.
So she's not like, there's not really any self-consciousness that comes through it, I guess. And we're with each other I'm going to see her after this to have a little break, but like yeah, we're with each other all the time, so we talk a lot. I find that lots of little small uncomfortable conversations save arguments.
Oh,
so
wow.
you just like, if anything ever comes up, and we'll just sort of nip it in the bud there rather than let like resentment build.
Yeah, I struggle with that sometimes, man. Yeah, I'll want to try and, I don't know. Sometimes I can feel like right now you should probably say this.
Yeah.
That way everything will be smooth. And there's a
I
part
was
of me
like
that's
that too,
like,
and then you just have
homie.
to be like, and just say it, and then it's actually fine. I kind of do that with like everyone. I'm just try to be like as honest as possible at all points, and then there's not really, you kind of see it as bricks in a backpack. Like you've got loads of bricks in your backpack, and if you can take a brick out quickly, it just lightens the load. So it's just getting the bricks out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, gosh. I wonder how many relationships for years husbands and wives just sit on their words. You know what I'm saying?
I think
just
a lot.
Go through and just sitting on for a sentence.
And then
just
suddenly
one
they're
sentence.
running at you with a meat cleaver.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Innit?
And just serving the last sausage, brother, in the dark hallway. Yeah. Like a good man over there in Leeds or wherever. What's the most dangerous place to be around here?
Here, I'd say every area of London has literally every area is sketchy. Like,
Yeah.
I think that you cannot be anywhere.
I love that.
Yeah, it's not like a segregated city. There's like,
Right.
it's very.
Everybody's scared. Everybody's.
No, I mean, the nice areas are sketchy, the bad areas are sketchy, but you just have to not do stupid shit. Like, if you wander around with, I don't know, like a Louis Vuitton duffel bag and a 200 grand watch, you are going to get robbed. Like, but just don't do that.
Yeah, don't do it. Yeah, I think, and y'all's robberies all have clues and stuff. That's what I like about London.
clues.
Or like if there's something that happens, it's like, oh, here's a clue, and the detectives or whatever, then they're hot on your trail. That's one of I think the things that like you guys.
I love that everything that you think about England is based on movies and like, because it's the way that I used to view America as well. I remember going. My wife went to Duke, and we went back.
Oh, my
to
mother
Duke.
went to Duke.
Oh, good university.
Yeah.
But I remember we were in town for something and we were driving past the frat houses and I was like, I've never been to a frat party. Should we just knock on the door of one of them and they'll be having a frat party like the movies? And like Cherry was like, yeah, I guess so. It's not like that vibe. And we went up, I knocked on the door, one of them opened the door and was like, why are you knocking on our door? And then we went in and it was just like 3 dudes and one guy who had his face super glued to the floor.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like not the vibe. And I was like, this isn't like the movies at all.
Yeah. You're like,
He was just literally like this, face super glued down. And they were just like, yeah, we don't really know.
Yeah, I think, it's hard to get that guy up, I bet. And then, they were just in there manufacturing Rohypnols or something like that at GHB or whatever.
Hey.
A lot of homemade GHB in those areas. But
yeah, it's not like the movies.
yeah, it's not. Yeah, nothing's kind of ever like, I don't know. Like even today we pulled up in a Notting Hill and I was like, we're gonna be in love or whatever.
Yeah.
Because
Notting Hill is quite like, if you're talking about like nice areas.
Yeah, it just seemed
is.
romantic, like you'd meet like, Paddington Bear is having a coffee with a woman or something over there, like
Bestiality.
yeah. Yeah. Caffeine fueled bestiality, dude. That's our new.
Yeah.
Have you ever done? Yeah.
Have I ever fucked?
No, have you ever considered a collab with Paddington Bear?
Do you know what? I would love to do a kids movie. Now that I have children, I'd love to do some form of animated something with music. I don't know if it's Paddington Bear or something.
Because he's a famous British bear, isn't he?
Well, he's actually from, where's Paddington Bear from? Peru, yeah. He's from in the book, he's from Peru. He travels over to England. He's obsessed with is it jam sandwiches or peanut butter sandwich? Jam.
And was he allowed to stay after Brexit or was he?
Well, so I have an Irish passport and I can only spend 90 days in Europe if you're English. So I was like, I have the Irish passport. I can tour more in Europe, but like none of my crew can spend more than 90 days there. And it used to be Brexit. I think everyone has agreed that Brexit didn't work. And I think there will be a time where we will try and backtrack it a little bit and get back into Europe. But yeah, it was such a divisive thing at the time.
It was?
It was like 50% of the country thought we should leave, 50% of the country thought we should stay. There was a very, very, very small margin that we left. And I feel like the people that voted leave now are like, actually, wasn't the best idea.
Maybe we should have stayed.
Yeah.
That's how we're feeling, I think, after the Mayflower and everything. I think we might build another Mayflower.
What is the Mayflower?
The ship that we left on a long time ago.
Right.
And
when you say we,
a lot of people.
yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to be coming back.
Yeah.
I really do. Like we might build a June flower, July flower. I don't know. We're going to build 1 month. We're going to build a big boat and I think we're coming back.
Cool.
I just don't think it's panned out as well as we expected over there. It's just gotten kind of like a lot of the tradition, I think, is disappearing in America. And maybe that's good. Like sometimes you just don't. I think that's the scary thing about when tradition goes away.
What is the, because I see America as like lots and lots and lots of traditions and cultures. What is the one central tradition that Americans can agree on?
That's a good point. I think, or maybe we're just in a phase where there isn't really that, right? And so that feels like
but you still
scary.
You'll still celebrate July 4th and stuff like that. That's like everyone will celebrate that, right?
Some people now are seeing it as it's like a bad thing, like, but then it's not like it's like.
I turned up to my first July 4th in a red coat.
Did you?
Yeah.
Let's go, dude.
And a flag. Because I was like.
And the UK flag.
We're coming back. No,
yeah. Captain Jack, or what is it?
Union Jack. Union Jack. The flags are weird over here as well because I don't think you can fly flags unless the football's on.
Yeah. If somebody's flying without the football, like, oh, that guy's, he's not doing as well. He's Scottish. And no offense if anybody's Scottish, dude. A lot of people are saying it's not even real. It's just a glitch on the map. But that is, I don't know. Sometimes your body feels good, but guess what? It could feel a little better. Elevate every morning with Tommy John's Second Skin underwear. What you put in your pants can make or break your day, and the luxurious support of Second Skin guarantees everything will go smoothly. Tommy John's stylish and soft Second Skin underwear has dozens of comfort innovations, like a supportive contour pouch and breathable, lightweight, moisture-wicking fabric with 4 times the stretch of competing brands. Wowee. Tommy John's is good if you like feeling like, hey, man, my skin feels fancy today. Everything feels good. Everything feels right. That's Tommy John. Get 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/Theo. Save 20% on Second Skin at TommyJohn.com/THEO. TommyJohn.com/Theo. See site for details. We all know there are things in life that you have to compromise on, but when it comes to your health, there is no compromise. So don't go back to that one doctor who uses your appointment to catch up on the latest headlines or flirt with you or just kind of waste your time. Instead, check out ZocDoc, the place where you can find and book doctors who will make you feel comfortable, listen to you, and prioritize your health. And you can search by location, availability, and insurance. So literally no compromises here, because with ZocDoc, you've got more options than you know. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you and instantly book appointments with them online. Wow. That's pretty cool, because a lot of times when I'm looking for a doctor, it's so confusing to use my own insurance website. Go to ZocDoc.com/Theo and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. I've used ZocDoc. I find it more helpful than using my own insurance website, that's for sure. That's ZocDoc, ZocDoc.com/THEO. ZocDoc.com/Theo.
Did you get to go to like the Highlands or anything, or try where they make scotch?
No, we didn't. We didn't get to yet. We didn't get to do a lot of stuff like that, dude. We have been.
Are you a whiskey guy?
I don't drink right now.
Really?
Yeah, because I'll buy drugs.
Because you.
Yeah.
My man.
So. A clue.
What's your drug of choice? Are you like going mad prescription?
No, I guess I'm probably more of pretty much a straight cocaine guy. I would guess. Yeah, I would definitely. Oh yeah. I remember even when I quit doing drugs, I would still, if my buddy of mine was doing a line of cocaine, which I don't recommend to anyone. But I've done it a lot, but I would hold the back of his neck while he did it. Like, that's how close I still wanted to be to the action. Wow. And that's the back of your neck is a sentimental place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also like, that's quite like, I felt if someone grabbed the back of my neck, I'd be like, what is about to happen?
Yeah, it feels, but if they casually just ride shot.
There's still a bit of predator in that. Like.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. A bit of
a really gentle caress. That's even worse, the gentle caress on the back of the neck.
Whoa. Oh, yeah, it's very...
Oh, my God.
Just the loitering of the hand is just... It's like riding shotgun on a line of cocaine, really, in a way, and it's... Yeah. But yeah, so obviously I've,
So how long have you been sober for?
Probably about 2 years right now.
Congrats, man.
Thanks, man.
It's amazing.
Appreciate it. I had a couple years, and it's just... Yeah, because I get all squirreled out, I'll be in your yard, boy. You know what I'm saying? I'll be in your fucking
loitering.
Yard. Oh, yeah. I'll be fucking out there.
So now you are the guy with the guy with the Red Bull.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I look like I'm making Bluetooth or something. I start, getting the jitters. People are like, oh, my God. That guy's showing up as a router. That guy's not doing well, So that's kind of the stuff.
Oh, that's brilliant.
What's like a... Since you've been obviously very gifted and had a lot of success and worked very hard, all those things. What are some stuff that you kind of wanted to do and you didn't? Because touring and stuff takes a lot of time, and touring and working, and it's like when you're in.
I've never been to a water park in my life. Yeah.
Oh,
and that's
man.
something that I'm like, I'd love to do at some point, but I've never been ever.
And is it because like a sunshine thing? Is like a
No, it's as I said, like I left school before school finished.
Oh.
And no, it's not. That's not. I left. I went to be a singer. I became a singer.
all right.
And in that time, I was working just flat out to become a singer, and then I became a singer, and then because people knew who I was, it sort of limited things that I could do. But I never really did it in that I was so focused on my career that, you know, there were TV shows that were like massive cultural phenomenons at the time in my age group that I only discovered like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Or like I didn't watch any football and I didn't pay attention to this. It was just so I want to do this. So yeah, there were some things that I missed out on in that time, one of which being it's a silly thing, but it's something that I would love to do at some point.
Oh, you should get a bus full of, I don't want to
Water
say
parks.
ginger men or whatever, and take them to a water park. I think it would be, and I don't know if I hope that's not an offensive term. It's not. Or I think you should get a bus full of.
It's interesting though, isn't it? The ginger thing, because it's like it is the last bastion of things
racism.
that you can. No. It's but things that you can make fun of. Someone on a TV show picked up. They put a picture of a ginger cat on, and they were like, "This cat kind of looks like you." And in my head, I was like, "If there was someone fat on this couch and you got up a picture
Can't
of
do
a
it.
fat cat,
Yeah.
that would be really offensive." So when does the line start?
It stops just right outside of ginger, I think.
I think so too.
Apparently. Well, in America, it stops you. The only people you can still make fun of are like redneck white people.
Yeah.
And everybody else is kind of off limits. So it's like, you know.
Yeah,
But I've always supported people that are,
really pale with red hair.
yeah.
Yeah,
Till
I
SPF,
feel like
till they come out with an SPF milkshake.
I
dude.
think you definitely the amount of sort of fun that's made out of you as a kid makes for a good personality.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like I have more fun than the pretty kids that I grew up with.
Oh, yeah, dude. My best friend was the good looking kid, dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Caleb.
No, not him. He's pretty good looking too, dude. He also looks like a really hot woman in some countries. Okay. I'm not going to name them, but a lot of Slavic areas. He's a 9, female 9, dude. And that's only if he partially shaves.
Yeah.
But no, my buddy Scott, when I was growing up, that's whose wedding I was at. He was like the handsomest guy, dude.
And he's just got no chat.
And but no, he was great. He was just, but yeah, I always had to be the other guy.
Yeah.
You know? And
But you feel like you've aged like a fine wine, right?
I've aged. I've aged like a decent provolone, I think. More.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say fine wine. Yeah, maybe a
Provolone age?
provolone. I'm sure it ages, huh?
Just get moldy, right?
You know what I'm saying? You've got to get tested every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Keep your pH balance decent. But I was gonna say, are there things you started to do like in your career that you started like there was another like thing you wanted to start to learn, like learn a language? You know, like Joe Rogan told me one day, he's like, when I'm done with doing this job, I want to paint. And I never thought I would hear him say. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I just think about
Howard
that.
Stern paints really, really well. Howard Stern does like amazing watercolors. They're like,
Really?
you see them and you're like, holy shit, yeah.
Dude, Silence of the Lambs paints, dude. That guy. What's his name?
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins, dude. Bring him up.
Oh, wow.
He paints.
That's
brother.
amazing.
Have the lambs stopped painting?
I paint as well.
Oh, really? I didn't know
actually,
that.
at the front of the pub, there's a painting that I did, but it's more I just go into a studio with canvases on the floor and just splash loads of color.
Yeah.
And when it's done, it's done. But that's more like I started doing that when I finished. I did this tour that ended in 2019. And when it finished, I was like, I don't want to do music for like a month, but also I want to carry on being creative and do stuff. So I started painting then. I learned Italian as well. That was like a thing. I bought a place in Italy and no one speaks English there. So I was like, I have to learn Italian. But those are like the two things that if I wasn't doing music, I'd like to put more time into. And honestly, like I love movies, discovering new things.
Yeah.
Like movies, like different artists, albums.
Will you listen to something or watch something to sometimes put you in like a mood to like create your own music even, or to write songs?
My creative process is just basically like do it. Like just get in and do it. And if it's bad, forget about it and move on. So I try to be creative every single day, write a song every single day or 2 songs every single day, and not worry about whether it's good or not. Like not be like, I feel like some people think that like writer's block is a thing where you're like, oh, I can't write songs. But you can write songs, you just can't write good songs. So just like keep writing.
Get the bad ones out.
Exactly, yeah. So Shape of You was written on a day and we wrote 4 other songs that day that no one's really heard. And Shape of You came out of that. And if I hadn't written the 4 bad songs, I wouldn't have got the 1 good song. So it's just a process of just constantly doing it. But I don't think I've ever really watched. The only movie that I've watched to create something was I did a song for The Hobbit, and they showed me the movie, and then they went, this is the point where the song comes in, and your song has to convey this and bring the audience out of the movie. And it was a point where Smaug's going to the big town at the end, and he's going to destroy it and cover it in fire and flames and blah, blah, blah. So they were like, we need this chaotic bit and then a calm bit, and you basically taking the audience out of the cinema. So that was the first time I've been like inspired by a movie, I guess.
Wow, that's a pretty cool task, huh?
Yeah, really cool. And also in that process, you're essentially working in a creative medium that you don't really know anything about, and you're so excited. Like I was so geeked out to be working with like Peter and Fran, and then getting to do the press tour with all of the actors and stuff. Wow. And you're suddenly there in a world that you don't really belong in. But it's like the reason musicians are obsessed with sports players, and the sports players are obsessed with musicians, and it's because each can do something that the other can't do. Yeah. But there's still like a level of dedication you have to do to get to that point. And I love being on the other side of the coin. I went to went to one of the Celtics games the other day and being like
Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you get in free over there, I'm sure, dude. There's no way. They're like, he made it finally, dude.
Kind of was
and
that.
No judgment, dude. It's all good, man.
What,
if I show up, yeah. If I show up like at a remedial reading center, I fucking get in immediately. You know.
Yeah. The Celtics, but my point is being on watching it. And I've never really had an appreciation for basketball before, because I've never really I've been to like a couple of games, but like something clicked on that game and I was like, this is so exciting, and they're so skilled and it's so fast. And like what I loved about it is in football, if you're losing 5-0 with 10 minutes to go, you've lost. And in basketball, you could be losing like by 20 or 30 points with the last 2 minutes to go, and it just could go bam, 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 and then win. It's like really exciting.
Yeah,
who's your basketball team?
Basketball.
Don't follow it.
I don't know, dude. Actually, I like Caitlin Clark's team. I started following her in college, and I'll watch her highlights and stuff. You know,
Sick.
She plays for Indiana Fever now. But me and Caleb went to a Iowa Hawkeyes game where she broke the record.
Wow,
which was pretty cool, dude.
I like Iowa a lot.
We were pretty high. I like Iowa too, man. You know, in Iowa,
I played IndyCar in Iowa.
Really?
Yeah, I remember.
Did you race or no?
No, I was just playing the gig. I waved the flag, not very well. But I remember walking.
You bring the Union Jack to that, and people will get a little TO'd, I think.
Someone there, as I was walking to stage, someone grabbed my arm and looked at me dead in the eyes and was like, "Welcome to God's country, Ed."
Oh my God.
I loved it.
Oh yeah, that sounds like the ghost of high cholesterol found you, dude, like in a Charles Dickens novel or something. Damn, yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I'm trying to think of have you ever gotten asked to go play for like a sheik or anything over there in like a castle or anything like that, or
Where?
like in the desert or anything?
No, probably. My
What?
Yeah, we get private show requests. My thing is like I never want to feel owned.
Yes.
Like I don't want someone to be like, you do this because I paid you this. So like if I'm ever going to do a private show, it's usually for like a company's end of year party or something, and they're just like, just do a show.
Right,
and you
that's
turn up
fun.
and you play the show. But I would feel weird if someone was like, you come and you sing this song at the time that we tell you to sing it, and you just, I like touring, I like playing shows, so I do my shows, and if I'm ever going to do a private gig, it's usually someone just saying, can you just do the show that you do there, but in a smaller place, is what I would prefer to do.
Right, yeah, not like, come perform it in this wet cage at 6:40.
Yeah, come and play a cover of this song that isn't even your song to my daughter while she eats breakfast. Like, I'm not, that ain't me.
Yeah, that's like that's almost a very expensive ASMR, it sounds like, as well. But one time I got offered to go to this place in the Middle East somewhere, and it was like Ludalaharta or somewhere, a place you hadn't even heard of, right, dude? So it could have just been in New Jersey or whatever. But they were, and it was like there was like a sheik, and you had to be behind a big plexiglass area. You would come in, perform there. He would be eating there with like 90 of his girlfriends or whatever. You would perform, and then
you lie down and he shits on your chest.
Well, I mean, there may have been an afters. I'm not sure, brother. I didn't know, but I didn't read the whole pamphlet either. But I do know that they were allowed to ask a few questions at the end, and then you got to eat, but you had to stay in this area by yourself through the plexiglass while they all had.
And you did it.
Well, they had a great time. I didn't go.
And what was the fee for that?
The fee was probably $1,500.
So what is it like? Do you have a private fee? Like if someone goes, come play a bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
You have a fee.
Yeah. Now I would have a fee for sure, because it's like, what else do you want to do with your time? Are you already relaxing? Are you going to be missing something that's important? Because now I have to set up time where I'm relaxing. It's like I had to set up time to watch Baby Reindeer. I had to put it on my calendar.
Good show.
You know?
Good show.
God, it was good. I hope they do it again. You know, I'd hate to for them not to go through it all again, especially the guy kind of went through a lot.
As in do like a sequel show?
Yeah, or just both of them. Just figure it out.
Didn't they talk about they are doing a season 2, and it's like from the perspective, isn't there like it's the court case or something like that?
Apparently she's going to get her side of the story, yeah.
Wow.
God, I can't wait.
Well, good. It's balance. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's very
like
fair. We need balanced news out there because, I love that lady. That's the crazy thing. You almost start to fall in love with the lady. You didn't think?
No.
Piers. The way she was talking to Piers Morgan.
Have you done the Piers Morgan show?
You know, he just asked me to do it.
You're going to do it?
I don't know. I don't know enough about... It's hard for me to know what British people are up to, you know? Like some cultures you can kind of get a read on them and you're like, what's going on?
I think Britain's very direct. I think he'd ask you a lot of very direct questions and you wouldn't. But you don't strike me as the sort of person that like needs to navigate direct questions. So I think you'd be fine. I did his show like 2013 when he was on CNN and I found it a great interview.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, he's like a researched guy and he doesn't like... He just asks you the questions that I feel like people would want to hear, I think.
Yeah, 100%, man. Do you feel like you'll make different music since you have like a family and stuff now? Does that start to like... I guess it's kind of a silly question, but it's like...
I made an album that my fans weren't like over the moon about because I feel like I was in quite a happy point of my life. And so the album didn't have much tension. It was just, I made a record. But yeah, I feel like just because I'm married with kids doesn't mean that like you don't have tension in your life. I feel like even more so there's been things in my life that have happened over the past 2 years. So I think the music that I'm making at the moment is more like the music I was making in my early 20s when there was a lot of tension going on in my life. But you go through periods of time, don't you? I'm sure you go through periods of time where you're like, things are good. Yeah, I feel quite settled, quite happy. And then suddenly a bombshell happens and then you have to... Yeah. So I feel like that's, for me, always creating music. I can see like back on my albums, there's like a lineage of like, this is where I was at this point, this is where I was at this point. And I feel like if all of the albums sounded the same, it'd be boring.
Yeah,
so
you have to evolve in some sort.
And it's good to have like, this is the album when I was like the album when I made an album in COVID, quite settled, quite happy. We had our first child and yeah, I listen to that now and there's no like heartbreak songs on it or sad songs or blah. It's just kind of, it is what it is.
Yeah, because a lot of times it's like, rip my fucking heart out, Eddie. You know?
Yeah. I think I'm getting back
good
on this one. I think...
that's what we want, man.
But this is what you're saying about taking time off. You have to take time off to actually live life. Like if I'm on the road, I think this is another thing why people who get successful early have their age freeze. Because when I'm on the road, life does just pause.
Yeah.
Because you, like today, you wake up, get on a plane, you fly here, we do an interview, you might go out for dinner tonight. There's no like actual real life interaction in your actual personal life being lived because you're constantly working. So you'll go back, I always found this, you'll go back home and you'll press play on your life again, and then you'll be like, holy fuck, so much has happened. How do I keep up with this? Your friend who was dating this person is now not dating this person. You've missed that whole thing. Your dad might be going through something. You've missed that whole thing. Like your brother's doing this.
It is weird. That's a really great way to say it too. Yeah, it's like
you just put it on pause and you go and do your thing and you come back and you press play on you, but it's like the whole world has been pressing play. Yeah.
And I think everybody can even relate to that too. I mean, going and touring and that kind of thing is a little separate, different, because you kind of get taken out of your life almost, and then you just drop right back into your life. Okay, well, like even for me, it's like, well, was I dating somebody? Oh shit, I never responded. My sister invited me to this, and that thing's over now. And it's like, why? Oh yeah, it's just like, and then you look at old emails, or sometimes like your thought processes will have changed and things you wanted to do and move forward with 3 months ago. You're like, that's not the thing I need now. Some things you're glad you didn't move forward with. Some things you're like, oh dang, I missed out.
Yeah, exactly.
But some of that's kind of fascinating. When I started podcasting, an online store was one of the furthest things from my imagination, having a place to sell things or sell t-shirts or this or that. And it started off, my buddy Ken was making our t-shirts in his basement, and things started to grow. And as the business started to grow, we had to grow, and so did our store. And that's where Shopify showed up to help. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage, Shopify's there to help you grow. And now, thanks to Shopify, our website is able to fulfill the desires of things that people want. If they want a shirt, they want a hoodie, or they want this and that, we're able to meet them where their wants are, and I'm thankful for that. You can sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Theo, all lowercase. Just go to Shopify, shopify.com/THEO now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Theo. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. If you are going through some moments in your life that are troubling, or you're not feeling like yourself, or you just can't seem to meet your life where you need to be, then you may need to talk with someone. I've been there. I do it every week. Therapy is a part of my life. BetterHelp. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. When life goes fast, it's important to take a moment, and sometimes you need someone else to help you take that moment. Take a moment. Visit betterhelp.com/THEO today to get 10% off your first month. That's help.com/THEO. Did you ever dude, I'll notice sometimes I get scared to see people in person because I feel like I'm not going to be able to live up to whoever they think I am. Does that make sense, or is that really egotistical thing to think, do you think?
No, I think especially the position that you're in and the kind of cultural significance of who you are and what people perceive you to be. I definitely get that, because you might be having an off day and people are like, hey, be the guy. And you're like, right, fuck off. I just want to chill out. So yeah, definitely. But I think that my way of moving through life is always just be always be completely honest of what it is at that point. So I remember I will usually say yes to photographs. If I'm with my kids, I'm like, look, I'm with my kids, I'm trying to be a dad. But sometimes if I'm feeling off, my aunt died and I was at a train station and someone was being really, a fan and come on. And I was like, my aunt has just died. Please, I just need a fucking moment. And if you are honest like that, people get it. But if I'd have just been fuck off, suddenly it's a thing. But I think honesty throughout, this is what I was saying earlier about just like saying truthful things when they come into your brain. It's people appreciate honesty, I think.
Yeah. That's a good point. And maybe they can feel it too. That's always the thing I think that gets weird as you get older. If you even think about telling a lie, sometimes or even a small lie, I'm like, it just feels like it's
the lies. If you tell lots of small lies, then you then have to keep up on fuck, who did I say this to and who did I do this? So that's if you go through life and you're
who did I tell I was a mime, and then you're fucking everybody you meet, you're like,
now that's it. That should be something that in your spare time when you're training to do stuff. If Joe's going to be an artist, you should train to be a mime. I would love to see you be a mime, fully painted, just be fucking great.
And they're always stuck in the smallest apartment. It's like, first of all, get a better job, and fucking get out of that rat trap. That's what I always think about those guys. But that's a lost art, isn't it? Miming.
Yeah. What else is a lost art?
Dude, there used to be a lot of mimes, Ed.
Yeah.
Pull that up, dude. How many mimes were there probably in 2010? Or 2005? Let's fucking go back since we have access to all this online. And mimes were some of the first mixed people as well. Nobody wanted to kind of see it like that.
I'm not sure there's much records of mimes.
Yeah, it's quite a niche subject, Theo. It's quite a
Yeah.
This is another thing. When you are trained to be a mime, you got to make the mime archives because then we can rely on you to when we Google, we're like, Theo's got us. Isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of perfect, dude.
Niche.
Yeah, why don't they have a fucking... First of all, I'll say this about mimes. They're lazy, dude. I'll straight up say that right now, bro. And mimes, well, magicians are comedians' arch nemesis, right? And that's been since like the beginning of time, dude. But I'll say this also, mimes can suck it. I'll go ahead and say that right now, bro. If you're a mime, dude, bring it, bro.
I think the day that you learn to be a mime, you'll actually learn a bit of appreciation for it. You'll be like, actually, this is way harder than I thought. And then you make the mime archive. Yeah. That can be your side hustle.
There should be. Who was the most famous mime? Oh, well, there was Charlie Chaplin, wasn't there? He's British.
Marcel Marceau.
Marcel Marceau, was he British?
No, I think he's French.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure the Brits commandeered him.
Yeah.
I'm sure they put a flag on his back at some point and said he was British.
Bip the Clown, his name was.
Yeah.
Who, Marcel Marceau?
Yeah.
Let me look a little bit about him. Marcel Marceau, can you zoom in on that so I can read that there, brother? You go up to the top. Marcel Marceau, 22nd of March he was born. Oh, he lived for a long time. Till 2007, was a French mime artist, actor, and most famous for his stage persona, Bip the Clown. He referred to mime as the art of silence. Mr. Bean was kind of like that, wasn't he, the artist?
Mr. Bean, I think...
It's fascinating.
Well, it's fascinating because he... essentially every country understands Mr. Bean because there's no talking in it. I heard a rumor that he, when he did the show, got them to agree to never show it in Italy because he liked holidaying in Italy. So that's the one place that I think they had the movie, but they didn't have the TV show.
So it wasn't just constant. So you wouldn't remember him as much. Did you ever get to meet him?
There was a period of, he was going to be in a music video for a bit. So we were actually in touch on email, and it was, I think the idea I had was very vague. And I think that was the problem. It wasn't like, this is what it is, this is when it's happening. And it was basically, I was kind of like, would you be interested in this? It might be this. And he was just like, it needs to be more solid than that. But we had a good exchange. The guy who I did you watch the movie Yesterday?
Yesterday? No.
Anyway, the guy that made that movie, I'm in the movie. I play myself in the movie. But the guy that made that movie, who wrote Notting Hill and Love Actually and Four Weddings and A Funeral, he wrote Mr. Bean. So he's very close with.
He wrote. So that was it wasn't just that guy made it up.
No, well they did it together. I think it was a stage show to begin with. So they did a show called Blackadder, which was I think it's the best British comedy ever. It's basically Blackadder. And it's it's the same characters, but set in different periods of time. So there would be some where they're in the Tudor time with, And then there's one in the Georgian time. There's one in World War
Blackadder.
One.
Oh, Mr. Bean's in it.
Yeah, he's the main guy. So they did that at first, and then they did Mr. Bean.
I need to go back and watch this then.
Blackadder is like an all-time classic. Really, really
Wow.
good. I watched they do a Christmas Carol, and that's my like Christmas routine. Is I always watch Blackadder Christmas Carol.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I watch Family Man. Have you seen that with Nicolas Cage?
Cool.
You and the wife should watch it this year,
I've got a
man.
massive cardboard cutout of Nicolas Cage in my house.
Really? Oh, then you'll love it. You should put it up.
I watched Mandy and was just like, I'm sold.
I gotta have some of that.
Have you seen Mandy? Mm-mm. It's fucking bonk. Can you pull up the scene of him? Just type in Nicolas Cage Mandy toilet scene.
Mr. Bean, what a great man. Wonder if his children are loud and he's like, oh, this isn't what I wanted.
Right. Yeah.
Ugh.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. God, that alone, that even just that much of a moment of something that feels so real, that is our political system right now in America. Somebody said that you used to do like go to comedy mics. Did you ever?
Not for me to do comedy, but I used to do it to... Actually, no, I did actually. I did I used to play with this... they were an improvisational rap group called Abanda Man, and he was a comedian who rapped and made... he basically would be like... They had a song called What's in Your Pocket, and he would rap about what was in everyone's pockets and make it funny. So I played with them for a bit. But no, for me, it was more... the scene that I was a part of was very cliquey and very like the cool kids over here. And I was always part of the misfits. And you would go and play these gigs where everyone on the lineup would have an acoustic guitar and they'd all be singing love songs. And I'd just be another one of them, just not as good. I was 17, not 25. I had my songs were very like rudimentary and like not great. And I found like this guy actually, my best mate Jamal ran a YouTube channel that was primarily rap, and he put me on that channel. And then suddenly there was a whole group of people that were like, "Oh, we actually quite like this acoustic music." So I would turn up at hip hop nights first, and grime nights, and soul nights, and I would play, and I would get a better reaction because it was just different. It was something that would stand out, whereas I did not stand out in the acoustic scene because it was just the same as everyone
that's
else.
Interesting.
And then I started playing comedy nights, poetry nights. I would turn up at different things. I used to get roasted whilst the toughest gig I ever played. It was an all-black comedy night in central London called the Sunday Show. And I was booked for this show. And as I was setting up my guitar, the guy on stage was roasting me, being like, what the fuck is this white kid doing with this tiny guitar and blah, blah, blah. And it was probably one of the best gigs of my life. I got on stage. I instantly went into a rap tune. I dropped this song and this song and this song. And the reaction was better than anywhere because I think people were expecting me to fail. And because I didn't, it was even better.
Yeah.
And those, I think that is what gave me my first bit of success, my first buzz, the buzz within the kind of grime and rap community in the UK. I think that was the first place I felt welcomed and accepted and celebrated, and still is. Like I still feel more love and appreciation from
the Misfits.
No, from the grime and rap community.
Aye.
Yeah, in the UK.
Interesting. Yeah, that's such a good idea, dude. Like to take whatever your thing is and put it into go to the space that's different because then you're the different thing.
It wasn't, to be honest, it wasn't like an idea. It wasn't like a light bulb moment where I was like,
but even when you say it though, it makes me think like it's like there's no way you can't help but stand out, right? So like,
I think it has to happen organically though, because I feel like if Jamal hadn't put me on his channel, and he put me on his channel, the Sunday Show booked me for their comedy night. I did that, and then whilst at the comedy night, it's a very organic thing. I think had I just turned up at the Sunday Show, they'd be like, yeah, and maybe it wouldn't have gone the same way.
Right. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. But yeah, to change up the environment that you're in and really challenge yourself, that's pretty brave. Yeah, I used to do some black shows, like predominantly black shows in the States, dude. It was hard sometimes.
But when you killed it, right?
Oh, you killed it, dude. Yeah, and people would stop.
Basically, but I bet it's either like you kill it or you bomb. There's no in between. There's no like all right shows.
And when you don't do good in front of a black audience as a white guy, you feel the pain of hundreds of years. You feel, I mean, my pain traveled all the way back to England in a boat and then got off and experienced more pain. I was like, how much pain is inside of me? Dude, I remember tears coming out of like the inside of my throat. And I was like, I didn't know I had tear ducts in my fucking...
Is that the worst that you bombed?
No, I fucking bombed pretty good over the years, Eddie. Yeah, I've had some bad ones. I've had one where you came out. It was like the battle of the bands at a school. You had to come out between all the bands. They didn't know. They just thought you had to come out in the beginning. They boo me off stage. They don't have to go out 6 more times, dude.
Wow.
And every time it just...
I feel like the boot... Like
my eyebrows... Sorry to interrupt you, but one time I was so shocked. One of my fucking eyebrows fell out of my head. From... Like it's called.
So what makes you appreciate it though? I feel like anyone that has had success on stage has had to have been booed, have things chucked at them, have moments where
the shock, the trauma. Some girls like something's on your shirt and it was my fucking eyebrow, dude. Like I was like, oh shit,
that's bad.
Yeah, so that kind of stuff to not be able to protect your tear ducts from the wind just because you had a bad set, dude. That's the kind of shit that people do. That we do not need to be going through. Yeah, I think sometimes the tough parts are like, sometimes I'll drift out of what I'm actually doing when I'm on stage. I don't even know what it is. It's not like I'm daydreaming, but sometimes you'll just, I don't know. I'll kind of go on autopilot, not because I want to. It just sort of happens. And you have to drop back in, you know?
I do that sometimes. I do it quite regularly on Perfect because it's just acoustic. I'm not having to think about what I'm doing with my feet. And occasionally I just drop the second verse by accident and I just kind of come to and I'm like, oh, I've just not sung the second verse and the song's now like a minute and a half long. But you get in there's certain things, I'm sure there's certain routines that you just know so well that your mind just sort of wanders.
Yeah, and then how do you make them feel new and to surprise yourself too, you know? And
I think it's good every now and then to completely rip up the rule book of what your performance is and just ad-lib as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Do you was being a father something that really kind of people talk about it all the time that it does so much for him? Was it as much of a surprise for you? It seemed like you had a lot of love in your life with your spouse, so it wasn't like a...
Yeah, I think it's selfishness ceases to exist, I think, because suddenly all your decisions are made based on... I've got 2 daughters now and it's made based on what's best for them, you know, rather than what's best for me or what's best for my wife. And that sort of simplifies life in a way because there's not as many questions. It's just like, well, what's right for these guys? And then cool, done. But yeah, I think, you know, I was a real party boy, like I loved getting on it.
Oh,
in all aspects.
I got the gear.
I think probably like 5 years ago, me and you would have had a lot of fun together.
Yeah.
But I think having kids really, really dialed that down. I stopped drinking spirits. I stopped like smoking and doing all these, you know, having wild nights. Like I don't think I've seen the sunrise since having kids. But obviously you're sober when you see the sunrise with kids. But I don't, you know, I go to bed at like midnight now. Even if I'm having, I drink wine and I drink like 1 or 2 beers. And that's my vice, I guess.
Well, you have to be a proper parent. You have to be a parent. You have to be a leader or whatever. You have to feed this when it wakes up.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally. And
yeah.
I think
it's like being in college, I bet, with like a roommate that can't cook or whatever. And you're like,
do you know what I see it as? It's your drunk mate at college that you need to get home from the bar and you're feeding them bread constantly and water. It's kind of that. And they sort of fall asleep. It's kind of like that. You're sort of waking them up to like feeding bread and stuff like that, and then they're sort of falling asleep in their chair. It's kind of like that.
Dude, one time I got in a taxi to leave a bar when I was in Charleston. I used to live in Charleston. And I forgot to, I guess I was drunk. I just passed out. The guy drove around, dude. He drove like $190 worth. I finally fucking wake up, dude. He's just driving, bro. And we were like still like about 12 minutes from my house. So I get home, I owed him like $220, dude. It took me like 2 weeks to pay that guy.
Jesus.
God, man. Just things like that I just don't miss about. Sometimes just being wasted, dude, or hiding out in somebody's yard.
Do you find you have better conversations now? Like if you're having a conversation with your mate and you're sober, it's more like...
Yeah, I find I don't waste time in bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I'm not out at one, you know, like in the wee hour, but shit doesn't get as weird either. You're not, you know.
I feel like I say it in one of my songs, but I feel like past 2 a.m. it's like nothing's happening. You're like all sitting around a screen watching YouTube videos and like chatting about the YouTube videos. Whereas I think like, I feel like my friends call me the sparkler because I shine bright for a very short period of time. So I'll go out at 8 and I'll be home at 11. But in those 3 hours, like I'll have fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good guy to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to start working on that. I'm going to save up all my good stuff for 8 to 11.
8 till 11 is a great time as well. And then you're in bed by midnight. I usually get up at like 5 a.m. Anyway. So you're like in bed by midnight and then you're fresh-ish in the morning. You a workout guy?
Yeah, I like to work out, man.
Yeah.
It's fun. Nothing too crazy, but I do like it.
But like every morning you'll do a bit of exercise.
Yeah, 4 days a week I'll work out.
Cool.
Pretty swell. I like doing the sauna.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ice bath?
And I like doing the ice bath, man. I don't know if they work or not, but they tricked me into believing they do.
For me, it's less, I don't mind if they work or not, but it gets my core body temperature down. I'm a big sweater.
Are you really?
So, yeah. I sweat. Like if I'm on stage, I just drip.
You're just leaking, huh?
Yeah. I think there's something in the Irish blood where heat just does not agree with me, you know, and
because you brought your own heat. Of course, the sun would be like, "Who the fuck is this?" You know what I'm saying? Stepping on my turf here.
But if I go in a sauna, I'll usually be sweating for like 3-4 hours after. So getting in an ice bath, almost, it's kind of like cauterizing a wound. You just, it's done. You know?
Yeah, dude, Ireland was I never had seen, I grew up in New Orleans, right? In that area in Louisiana, like Mardi Gras, people being drunk, right? I never say it's a different thing of drunkenness. It's just it's like people, we went into a bar, it's people in there, there's no furniture, right? Just people holding each other up.
I think
drinking. It's like you can't even let the guy stop drinking. They won't fucking let. Dude, I remember we're in the bar. Outside of the bar, they built another bar around the exit door. You open the exit to the bar, you're in another fucking bar, dude.
But drinking culture here is different than America. Like I found when I lived in Nashville, it was like sports bars. You go to a sports bar to watch a game, to drink.
Yeah.
And you would see people there on their own drinking a huge vodka tonic, just like, I'm here to get fucking drunk. There's Irish bars on the motorway in America. I'm like, who the fuck is driving to an Irish bar? But here, if I'm like, for instance, I saw my best mate Nick yesterday and I was like, oh, let's go out for a couple of pints. And we would go out and we caught up and we had 3 pints of beer and then that was it. And our culture here is very much built around, I'm generalizing, not everyone loves drinking, but I would say like 80% of the people in England love a beer every now and then. And you would go out and instead of getting shit canned every time you go out, you know, like I would go to these sports bars and it would basically be like everyone in the sports bar in America would be going with the sole purpose to be dribbly drunk by the end of the night, taken home in an Uber. Whereas in England, it's very much, and Ireland and Scotland and Wales, it's a regular, with my friendship group anyway, a regular thing to have maybe like 1 or 2 pints at the end of a work day. And then maybe on a Friday, you'll have like 6 pints and a bottle of wine. You'll go out and do the shots and blah, blah, blah. But it's far more just part of the culture to do it regularly.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like they wear it better here.
It's not alcoholism to drink every day here. Whereas in America, if you drunk every day, it'd be alcoholism. Because obviously people take it too far here as well, but the general thing, I think, is, am I right in saying that, lads? Like, you would go out for a couple of pints after this and it wouldn't be like...
Well, I think we treat every event with beer.
Yeah.
Are you sad? Have a beer. Are you happy? Have a beer.
Yeah.
Is it a wedding? Have a beer. Is it a funeral? Have a beer.
Yeah.
Everything.
But it's
is
not
accompanied.
alcoholism. It's the culture.
It's
I'd
just the
say.
culture, yeah.
It's not like I wake up every morning and I'm like, I need a beer tonight. It's
Right.
like you get to the end of the day and your mate will be like, oh, I'm in central London. Do you want to go for a beer? Rather than like, I need a beer. It just sort
Right.
of, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, dude, because a lot, like, by the definition of alcoholism, I mean, everybody can decides for themselves if they're an alcoholic. That's one thing I know about that program. Like, you have to decide. Like, there can be like the rules that kind of help you decide, but it's a personal decision, right? But yeah, people would look at a lot of people in Ireland and be like, oh, everybody here is an alcoholic. 9 out of 10 people, even some people in comas or whatever, drinking. You're like, that's new. But yeah, but like that, but that's not the same because it's
I think it's a
part of the
misconception
culture.
in-
Oh, I agree. When you say that, it's like,
Because I
It's part of the
I
culture.
actually don't like the culture of like people viewing Ireland as like an alcoholic country. It's
Yeah.
like it's not. You know, we can have a good time, but it's not like I don't know. It's the same in England. Like it's just the culture.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But they're good.
Germany's the same.
It surprises me how good at it they are. I
Yeah.
think that's what surprised me. Just that, like,
Practice.
Wow.
But also, we drink from a very young age, irresponsibly or responsibly. But like, I had my first beer when I was like 12, 13.
Yeah.
And you learn how to manage your alcohol by the age of 16. You know, if I drink this many cans of Strongbow, I'm probably going to throw up. So I'll drink this many cans of Strongbow. Whereas I think in America, it's very much like 17, 18, 19. Maybe it's even just getting to college for the first time where you're then finding out what your boundaries are.
Yeah.
France, they start drinking wine from like 5.
Oh, God.
They give tiny glasses of wine to their kids, and it makes them respect alcohol by...
I'd watch that online if they had that. To be honest, no judgment or anything, and I don't know any of the children, but and I wouldn't want to know any of them, but I would watch them drink a little bit of wine, dude, and just, especially you can't, do
Have you
anything
seen
bad through the screen or whatever.
There's a YouTube video. I actually wanted to do it for one of my songs. Bloodstream was to have a video of compilations of babies trying lemons. Seen this? Get up, babies trying lemons for the first time. Here we go. This is so good.
Whoa, he couldn't handle it.
Anyway, we're good.
Oh, that's remarkable. Do you think about like what else you want to do?
In life.
Yeah, or just like, do you start thinking about like, oh, what's something new you want to do? Do that movie thing sounded really cool to me.
I'm going to segue into, I've been doing probably for the last 7 years stuff with music in high schools because in my area, so basically in like 2017, 2018, my old music teacher came to me and he was like, look, the government is currently in charge, do not value art at all, like arts, drama, music. And they cut all the funding for comprehensive high schools.
God.
So my music teacher came to me and he was like, look, I think they had to share like between art, music and drama, like £700 per year, like for all 3 subjects. So I started funding that at my local high school. And then you see a like massive uptick in like kids doing production, kids doing songwriting, kids doing this. So then I just started keep putting it. I built a recording studio there. There's loads of like proper instruments that aren't broken. And you just see the school getting better at music. So then I started doing that in the county that I'm from. And we've just now changed it to do it nationwide. And I'm now visiting more high schools and places that really need music funding. And you see what a difference it makes to, because I'm not an academic person. And in the real world, I would be viewed as stupid, but I excelled at music and therefore people think that I'm good at something. And so I found it massively helpful to be in a state-funded school that really encouraged that. And they've basically cut funding in England for it. So I'm doing what I can to get funding for it. But I think getting the new government will be better at it, I think.
Oh, that's remarkable.
But the thing that, like, that's kind of what I want to segue into is music education, because it worked so well for me, and I know it can work so well for other kids. I'm kind of like proof that normal kids can just pick up guitars, work hard, and do it. And our country as well, like, what we're famous for is our art. We're famous for music. With the Beatles, we're famous for painting. Damien Hirst, we're famous for movies. You've got like Danny Boyle coming out of here, Christopher Nolan. And the government is just putting importance on maths and banking. And, you know, we make arms, but no one is proud that we make arms, and no one is proud that our banking's really good, but they are proud of our art. And so for a government to be like, the art doesn't matter, like, where do you think the art's going to come from? So I think that for me is the next part of my career, is getting up proper funding in art, music, drama back into schools. And actually, Ireland do a very good job of it. Ireland are very, very pro their arts, because they know that that's their cultural currency.
Yeah.
You know, U2 travel the world, and they see that Banshees of Inisherin comes out, everyone goes to watch that movie. And Ireland are very, very good at recognizing that and funding. There's lots of Irish.
There's tons of pride there too, still.
Because people travel around the world as Irish superstars in all aspects, and they spread. People are like, oh, Ireland's awesome because so-and-so comes from Ireland, so-and-so comes from Ireland. And it's the same in England. Like, British music, there's Adele, there's Harry Styles, there's Stormzy, there's me. There's like, musicians travel the world, and people are like, oh, that's a British musician, or that's a British artist, or a British actor or actress. And that's what we as a country are proud of. We're proud of our football as well, but in terms of like art. And it's so weird that no importance is being put on it. It's not even that importance isn't being put on it. It's like completely stripping the importance of it and just being like, this doesn't matter. But sorry to get all...
No, but when you kill that in a culture, it's horrible, man. Even like you said, like when you said earlier about like going to that NBA game, right? You don't realize till you sit there at the front row, or until you get close to something,
how important it is. Yeah.
How important it is, if you could even be good at it. Like, I remember stand-up comedy, I'd seen it, like videos people had, like DVDs would get passed around the neighborhood of like Chris Rock and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. But until I was in college and actually went to a show, not then, until that moment, did it hit me like,
this is what I could do.
Oh, that this is even a thing that you could do. Like, just seeing it on a screen, it just didn't really tabulate.
Am I right to assume that in school you would probably be like, I don't know what I want to do. What am I good at? I'm not very good at history. I'm not very good at English. I'm not very good at this. And then suddenly you find comedy and you go, this is something that I can really excel in. And I think unless you give kids that opportunity, and also I feel like you can destroy a kid's confidence at age 12 by just being like, yeah, you're not very good at that. And if you give a kid, I was given confidence by my music teacher, by my dad, by my friends, when I wasn't very good at all. I listened back to the music that I was making when I was like 14.
Thank God my friends were nice.
Yeah, I listen back and I go, fucking hell, my dad was not honest at all. Because he was just like, this is great. And my confidence was built. And it's got to a point where I then was like, I'm going to release my first single and I'm going to make a music video. And then that was the song that got successful. And had I been like, oh, I don't know what people are going to think about that. I think that's also like changing the culture of that, of like I went up to Sheffield the other day to do a couple of school and music course visits. And they were amazing, like way better than I was at 14. And I feel like all it takes is for someone to be like, you're really, really good at this. And then they go, oh, well then I should carry it on.
Yeah.
And
well, having the equipment, like you're saying, like putting that equipment in the schools, dude, that's so cool because if you have a camera and you have a podcast set up or something, you can record something and you can see how it looks. The second you do that one step, now you're in a whole new purview or whatever. And then you're like, now what's possible? It's like, but until you can get that first step
as well.
Yeah.
You do your first show and you go, right, well, I've done one. Wasn't that good. I'll go and do it again. I'll make it better. And then it just improves. Yeah.
And you don't know what part of you wants to do until you it's almost like a metal detector. You're like a metal detector. And until you kind of go over that little, whatever that is, and something inside of you kind of goes off, you know?
Well, because all you need to do, that's the thing as well that I say to kids. I'm like, you only need one thing that you're good at. You just find the one thing that you enjoy, that you're good at, and you just work really hard at that, and then it will work. You go, like, the music industry is, if you want to work in the music industry, you can. Like, I was, the day that I made it in my mind was I was gigging around, not getting paid. I got booked for a wedding, and I played this wedding for like £200. And I remember getting that £200 cash and being like, oh my God, this is half my rent for playing a gig.
Looks like we made it.
Exactly. And in my mind then I was like, I could just play weddings for the rest of my life and I'm fine. I can do music. And it's about finding me getting £200 for playing covers at a wedding isn't me playing Wembley Stadium and making my albums and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily the dream, but it is doing music as a career. So you can find, if you said tomorrow, like, right, I want to be a chocolate taster and I'm going to be the best fucking chocolate taster, you could potentially make that a career if you just worked harder than other chocolate tasters, or gamer, or I don't know.
Especially in the UK.
Yeah.
Willy Wonka's from here. He is,
Or
right? Did you ever meet him?
Willy Wonka? No. Did Timothy? I think I might have met Timothy Chalamet.
Somebody must have, I'm sure, crossed paths with him.
I'm sure someone's met him eventually, yeah.
Fuck, lucky. That's the kind of people that some people you don't get to meet. You know, some people the government hides them. What about the Queen or anything? Can you text her or whatever?
Well, she's dead.
Well,
the new Queen.
oh, is there a new one?
There
I
is
didn't
a
even
new
know.
Queen,
They get a new one? Sorry. I didn't know, and I'm sorry that she's deceased too. I did not know that.
Yeah, she died in 2022.
Oh, yeah.
And then
God.
King Charles is now the king. I did like her Jubilee. I played her gig and there's an amazing picture of her shaking my hand and smiling.
Oh, nice.
And people are like, oh, she was pleased to meet you. And actually a comedian had just told her a joke. So it looks like she's really happy to meet me, but she had no idea who I was at all. But the picture says 1,000 words, Theo.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do the royal people, what do they do? What is it really like over there when you go over there?
I don't envy it at all. I wouldn't want to live that lifestyle. I remember being in Japan once for the Rugby World Cup and I met one of them and he was like, he's 6-7 years older than me. And he was like, this is my first time in Japan. And in my mind, I'm like, I would have just assumed that you go everywhere all the time. But I think it's very much like it's a working job. They go and open hospitals, open care centers, go and do this. And it's I wouldn't envy the lifestyle at all. I think it is quite restrictive. I don't think you can just be like, I'm going to go do this. I think have you seen The Crown, the show? Because even when they go on holiday and they have to do like a press shoot before the holiday. And then people just take photos of them for the whole holiday. Because it's kind of like you allow, because you are funded by the public own your life.
Yeah, it's got to feel odd.
So it's not something that I would necessarily envy. It's something that it's a big debate in this country whether people agree with it or not. I personally think it gives a certain grounding for there's like a historical aspect of it, and when things happen, it's like Americans love seeing the ceremony that's over here. Like when the Queen passed away, the funeral is like very impressive, and it very much represents England for the world. England, look at it.
Yeah, because I think England, there's something there are a lot of great things. It's like very proper, and it's like
there's a lot of things that I would not agree with as well. I think it is very
it's rigid almost.
It's a very polarizing subject. But I definitely wouldn't envy
the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it seems like it would be tough. You're such and you have to be a concierge to your own country, and you have to be such a representative.
And never talk about anything negative. Their thing, they say never complain, never explain. So anything that happens, they just
you're just a middleman.
Yeah, you can't show any emotion. Even at funerals and stuff, you're not meant to cry and stuff. It's really quite hardcore.
Oh, yeah, gosh, I remember my first funeral, dude.
Not fun, are they?
I was not good at funerals.
No.
I was the
I feel
worst,
like they're needed to mark it though. I missed my grandmother's funeral. Did you see that court case last year that I was in? Do you know about that? I was in a court case last year, and she ended
all my friends are criminals, to be honest with you.
She died at the start of the court case, and the funeral was midway through it because she had to be buried.
And you couldn't go.
I couldn't, and I still feel weird about it that there was no marking of the, like, you know, seeing a coffin be put into a grave and covered, and I don't know, there's something in me that's like, even like visiting her grave now, there's not, it still feels like an open book, open door, I guess. I think funerals are important for the ceremony of like marking it. It's kind of like the first day of grief as well, because before you go to a funeral, there's like a weird month or whatever where everything's like really fucking intense and grief stricken. And then kind of the funeral is the day that you go, now we start processing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of wild, dude. Does any of your music get played at funerals too or not?
Yeah. I've got a song that I wrote about my grandmother called Supermarket Flowers, which is a popular funeral song. If that's like a thing to be proud of. Like, I've got a popular funeral song, but yeah.
It's such an important, it's a song that, it's a moment that people don't think of that much that needs a song kind of in a way maybe. Or I don't know, maybe, as a songwriter, maybe people do think about specific moments that need songs, but.
I definitely do. Like, I definitely know what I would have at my funeral. Same as I would have at my wedding, you know? You know what
tunes you want?
There's a Irish folk song, which is like always the final song that is sung on a folk night, which is called The Parting Glass, where it's like...
Are the Pogues or no?
No, it's like traditional. It's like, of all the money that I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that I had done, alas, it was to none but me. And it's basically like all of the things I did, and all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass. Good night and joy be with you all. It's basically the last drink of the night. This is, I sort of feel weird that I just sung on.
but there's a farewell.
But yeah, it's the last drink of the night, and it's basically everything that's happened, it's happened. And let's have this final drink and then get on with our lives. And I think that's quite a nice way to like go out of this world, of basically being like, of all the comrades that ever I've had, I'm sorry that I'm going away. You know, like it's just a message to people. I like it.
No, man, I appreciate you sharing that too. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice, man. That from everyone that's ever spoken about you, I've heard you always seem like a person that just shares the gift of who you are with the world as clearly as you know how to, and navigate that the best you can, man. So I appreciate you singing. That's nice, dude. And I appreciate you spending time with me, man.
Thank you. Thanks for coming as well, man. I really, really have enjoyed this.
I feel bad that I referenced the term ginger, and I feel bad that I mispronounced the name of this place, man.
Oh, that's all right. I thought you were doing it on purpose.
Okay, I was.
All good. No, the ginger thing.
And I wasn't.
The ginger thing, I'm actually like, I have a good sense of humor, so I'm fun with being ribbed.
Yeah, I just shouldn't have said it though.
No, but I'm like, my point is, if this is on limits, then you know, other things should be too.
Yeah.
You know, it shouldn't be the only thing that's on limits.
Oh, I agree, brother. And let me tell you this, we're turning on all the limits. Okay. One time,
I don't doubt it.
We'll get you out to a live show and turn on all the limits. I hope you make a million more wonderful songs, and just keep blessing us with your gifts. Thank you so much, Ed Sheeran.
Nice one. Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone. Oh.